But first up, she is the Democratic Congresswoman who represents California's 13th District, Barbara Lee. Thank you very much. Okay. Barbara, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Nice being with you once again, Bill.
Oh, I appreciate it. Listen, I wanted you on especially today because it is the anniversary of 9/11, and as I mentioned on this show a while ago, you and people have, of course, said the same thing all over the media. You were the lone voice after 9/11 to stand up and say, maybe we should not go into Afghanistan, which I feel like that there should be a Barbara Lee Award, the Barbara Lee Henry Fonda in 12 Angry Men Award for being the lone person who stands up against a group, even when the group is all heading in one direction. And I would want to ask you tonight, aside from the specific lessons from Afghanistan, don't you think one of them is also that people are sheep and groupthink is one of our most dangerous problems?
Bill, I tell you, first of all, let me just say, whenever we're in a moment of crisis, I'm talking about now our emotional reaction to national security crisis and in our personal lives. Whenever we are grieving, whenever we're in mourning, whenever we're sad, whenever we're angry, that is not the time to make important decisions. We need to step back, and as members of Congress and leaders, we have to step back for a minute and wait until the moment where we can be rational and think about and understand the costs and consequences of the grave actions that we're about to take. And so, yes, we needed to be unified in a response to the horrific terrorist attacks, and it was not a partisan moment, but in fact, we had a duty and responsibility not to go along with the flow just because 3 days afterwards we wanted to bring terrorists to justice. And so groupthink is dangerous in many respects, but I think as members of Congress, we have to really step back for a moment, as I said on the floor, and make some serious decisions, not in the moment of grief and crisis and tragedy.
True that. So what do you think now we're group thinking? What are we going to look back on in 10 or 20 years and say, oh, we all were sheep on that one?
Well, I don't think it's about looking back saying we all were sheep. I think it's about really learning the lessons of the last 20 years, several of which we know already. One is that there's no military solution in Afghanistan. If you know the history of Afghanistan, you know that there'll never be a military solution by the United States. And the president was right in withdrawing our troops. Absolutely correct, because had we stayed there militarily for the next 5, 10, 20 years, we'd probably be in worse shape. And there's no military solution, and the military option is always on the table as it relates to the use of force. Secondly, we can't go around the world and nation build. I mean, can you imagine how much money we have spent now, Bill? We spent trillions of dollars, and we spent trillions of dollars that could have been used for infrastructure, for jobs, for health care, for education, for domestic priorities in our own country, also to support our troops and to make sure that our troops have the quality of life that they so deserve. And that doesn't mean we don't have to use our counterterrorism measures and bring terrorists to justice. This is a very dangerous world. And so I think what we've learned is that we have to use all of the aspects of our national security policies and tools that we have. We have defense, of course, but we also have diplomacy, development, humanitarian strategies that we can use, and we need to rebalance and reimagine how we do our national security for the future. I think those are a couple of the lessons that we have learned.